Hi, it's Mark with Business Development TV, and I've got a quick tip for you today on how to stay in touch with your past customers in your sphere and get referrals from them. So, as real estate agents or loan officers, we develop an interesting relationship with our customers as they're going through the process. We're either meeting them in person or we're talking to them by phone all day or at least several times a week. Once the closing occurs, the relationship, the dynamics change. Now we are not in contact with them constantly. We're not on the phone with them, and we tend to forget about them, and they tend to forget about us. So what do we typically do? Well, we put them on a newsletter campaign. We send them some fascinating information and things like that, and keep in touch with them by email, or maybe we mail those things and stuff like that. Or we do keep in touch with them by phone, but we keep in touch with a much smaller percentage of our past customers in our sphere than the whole. So if we have 200 people in that group, we may be contacting by phone once a month, 10% of them, 20%, 20 of them, rather than the whole 200. Well, we're missing out on the opportunity to get referrals. So why do we not make those phone calls? Well, it's call reluctance. But what's the call reluctance? It's the changing dynamic of the relationship. So if we send them something by email, we send them something in the mail, and we don't follow up by phone, we're missing out on the opportunities to get referrals. So then the question becomes, what are we going to send them by mail or by email that is going to be enticing enough for us to pick up the phone and call them? Okay? So I can tell you for me what it's not. It's not going to be, I'm not going to call up and say, hey Judy, did you get my fascinating newsletter with the apple crumb pie recipe? I'm not going to make that call. It's just not going to happen. Okay? So I've got to find something that's inexpensive but of true value that I can pick up the phone and call them. And what I discovered over time was that there's, for most states, not legal in all states, but 40 something I think, there's lotto scratch-off tickets. You know what I'm talking about. You buy a dollar scratch-off ticket, you scratch, 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 and if you get 3 like amounts or whatever on the game, you win the prize, right? So for $1, you can pick those things up. What I would do is I would send them to every one of my sphere and past customers. I would send it with a note card, either handwritten or computer generated in script, that said something along the lines of, hey, just hoping to contribute to your retirement account this month. I'll call you in a few days to see if you won. Or hoping to help you out on your vacation plans this year. I'll give you a call in a few days to see if you won. Or hoping to help you pay off your house early. I'll give you a call in a few days to see if you won. So you get the picture, right? So I would mail these out. I would mail them, like I said, in a nice envelope, handwritten or cursive, addressed, and nice commemorative stamp. Don't use the flag stamp or, heaven forbid, the bulk permit or first class pre-sorted indicia, thing like that. Use a beautiful, colorful commemorative stamp because it gets your mail open. And that's the goal, is to get it open. So then the true thing to help you get referrals comes along in what happens 4 days later. And that is you're going to call the people. So now, hopefully the call reluctance is gone because you're not calling them up to check on Susie's oboe contest or whatever, right? You're calling them up to see if they won. So the phone call is real easy. Hey, it's Mark with XYZ Realty, and I was just calling to see if you want some money on the lotto ticket I gave you. And then you can talk about Susie's oboe contest or Johnny's soccer game or whatever if you want to, but you don't have to. So you've made the phone call. It's very easy. You simply slip in your referral script, whatever it may be. Hey, as you know, my business is built on referrals. I would love it if you run across somebody and let me know. That would be great. It's that simple. So it takes the call reluctance out of making the calls. Pure and simple, very easy. So I have some Mark Hall hard science behind us. Number one, on why it works. Number one is it enacts the law of reciprocity. And the law of reciprocity says, if I do nice things for you, you'll do nice things for me. So what have I done for you? Well, number one, I remembered you. Okay, you're on my mind. I sent you something of value. I called you to check in to see if you won. I had a brief conversation with you. So I care about you. People refer people to people that they know, like, and trust. And if I show you that I know, like, and trust you, and I care about you, you are much more likely to know, like, and trust me and refer me as well. Okay? Second thing is the amount of referrals increases because of what I call the Pavlov's dog theory. So you may remember from high school science class, there was a scientist by the name of Pavlov, and he had a dog. And so you may remember from high school that there was a scientist named Pavlov, and he had a dog. And he did an experiment that basically where he would ring a bell, and then he would give the dog its food. And what he was trying to do was to see what would make the dog salivate. So was it the giving the dog the food, or was it ringing the bell? And what he discovered was he could condition the dog to salivate by ringing the bell. When he rang the bell, the dog knew it was going to get fed, therefore it started to salivate. Same thing happens with the note cards. If you call a past customer Sphere member out of the blue and ask them for a referral, odds are they're not going to have anybody right off the top of their head that they can refer you to. Okay? But when they get your note card and your lotto ticket and they open it and they realize that you care, and now they have 3 to 4 days to think of somebody to refer you to, and that law of reciprocity is working in the background as well, they're much more likely to think of somebody to refer you to. Okay? So over time, 3 to 6 months, this really starts to build momentum. So what should you expect? Well, you should expect to get referrals that close from somewhere between 15 to 20% of the people that you enroll in that program, as long as you're religious in making mailing, and as long as you're religious in making the phone calls. 15 to 20%. Imagine if you have 200 people in your Sphere and past customer list, and you're going to get an additional 15% closings. That's 30 closings a year. That's huge money, right? And this is a small investment to make. There's some tools out there that will help you with the phone calls. I recommend a service called Phone Burner. That is an auto dialer. It's really cool. I've got a video on it. I use it all the time. I use it to make about 1,600 phone calls to people a month, and I get those phone calls done in less than 2 days. So everybody hears from me. So it's a great tool to use. So I hope that this quick tip has helped your day. Hope it's going to help you grow your business. Just remember this: scratch off lotto tickets, nice card, hand addressed or script addressed envelope, commemorative stamp, call 4 days later to see if they won. It's that simple. Hope you're having a great day, and hope this helps you get an extra 10 to 20 closings a year.